I've never once been a committed person in my too long existence. I'm more of a drifter, cruising from one town to another, assuming a new identity with each new address. Most people would find my lifestyle exhausting, but for me, it was fun, interesting, and convenient. Oftentimes, I'd suddenly feel my spark of wanderlust ignited from within, and I'd pack up and leave town. One hand on the steering wheel, and the other on Google Maps, looking for the next quick fix. Sometimes it's not so random. Sometimes I'd follow a certain trail in the air, knowing that it would take me to a place with bakeries and sweet shops that would keep me fed, with quaint-looking streets and houses that I could paint and photograph, with soft throats and wrists that would soothe the burning in my parched throat. This time, the shimmer that floated in the air led me to a mountain town that grew strawberries and cherries as their main crop. The moment I drove into Main Street, my senses were assaulted by the fruity, sugary sweetness, and I knew that I had found a new home. The white bakery near the park served me strawberry cinnamon rolls with a flat white latte. I consumed it, feeling the sugar dissolve on my tongue and invade my bloodstream. There was a help wanted sign posted on the window, and I plucked it and headed off to the manager's office. My new house was near the edge of town. It was a small 2-bedroom building, but it had charming eaves, a pristine white picket fence, and a lush garden surrounding it. I set out votive candles everywhere and unpacked my belongings by candlelight, indulging myself by dipping big red cherries in a white chocolate fondue. I first saw the old Victorian house during one of my late night walks. It was a large, sprawling house and had Christmas lights blazing every night of the year. The moment 6 o'clock rolled around, the house transformed into a fairyland of blinking white lights. I had taken to trespassing through the strawberry fields at night to stand in front of that house, watching the lights, camera in hand. Its weight was comforting in the cold. The owner started coming out after my 3rd time. I was a bit worried that he would tell me to get lost, but he never did. At first, he would just stand by the window and watch me, hidden behind the thick velvet drapes. After a few nights, he got used to me and abandoned his post behind the curtains, standing right in front of the window and smiling at me, his black hair moving slightly in the breeze. We never talked, but he finally invited me in. He has bruised, bleeding lips, and I think he's trying to tempt me. We talk about random topics, jumping from subject to subject over our cups of tea, but I'm distracted, and my eyes keep straying back to his lips. I wonder if he bit them. I wonder if he's doing it on purpose. He's telling me a story about his job, something about volunteering overseas to help the less fortunate. I listen half-heartedly, my gaze trained on his mouth like someone hypnotized. Sometimes he stops to take a sip of his chai, and he runs his tongue over his lips afterwards. He asks me a question, and I answer in length, while he sits and stares and nibbles worriedly at the corner of his lip. His teeth break the skin and a thin trickle of red stains the tip of his tooth. I didn't notice that I was leaning forward until I realized that I'm only a few centimeters away, and his breathing has become rapid. I can hear his heartbeat hammering in his chest. He waits. I close the distance and start sucking on his lower lip. His blood is sweet. Afterwards, I spent part of every night with him. I'd read in bed, and he'd write poems on my back, and sometimes I'd draw on the surfaces of his too pale skin. But mostly, we'd just lie in bed and indulge in each other, drunk on blood and strawberry wine. It was a pleasant arrangement, and I'd sneak out in the morning, tired and bruised, but with my lips red with his sweet, sweet blood. But he had begun to get attached to me, and with it brought a feeling of unease. I was sure I saw him a couple of times during my shift at the bakery, hunched behind other people, his eyes watchful on me. I knew I had to leave town that night. He knew. The moment I stepped inside his house, I smelled the trepidation, ripe and thick in the air. He was holding a gun, with his finger on the trigger, and a thin sheen of perspiration gleamed dully on his forehead. "I can't let you go," he whispered. "Take me with you." I smiled at him lovingly, trying to work my compulsion on him, but his eyes are crazed behind their outward calmness, and I know that no amount of compulsion will work on him now. "What you're feeling is an illusion," I say, trying to reason with him. "My saliva produces a chemical that drugs you and makes you feel euphoric. It's not permanent. You'll recover after a week or two." "I don't want to recover," he screams. "If you leave me, I'll die. So I'm gonna have to kill you, unless you stay here with me." "Don't be like that," I beg him, because I don't want to kill him. His eyes are filled with tears. He has gone completely white, and the red wounds on his throat and the bruises on his wrists stand out starkly, accusingly. The wounds, made by my teeth and loved by my lips. He raises the gun to eye level, and his hands are no longer shaking. His eyes have lost their last vestige of sanity. I shake my head sadly and smile. "Goodbye," I whisper. There's a gunshot into both of us. It's like a clap of vicious thunder. I leave town that night, my body singing with blood, but my eyes full of tears. I can still taste him on my lips, and I sigh with regret. Why does it have to end like this every time? But I don't have time to contemplate this for long. I see a faint trail of sparkles in the air and feel a smile tug at the corners of my mouth. There will be a new town. There will be new bakeries to feed me with sweets, new picturesque houses to watch, and soft, warm flesh to pierce and feed from. And maybe I'll have another chance to lie supine in bed, drunk on blood and strawberry wine.
Footsteps aren't an uncommon thing to hear when you're sitting in a basement. so I think nothing of it when I hear quiet thuds coming from my upstairs hallway. I just assume it's my brother, and continue doing whatever pointless thing I was doing at the time. They go on for another couple of minutes, and I'm starting to get pissed off. They keep getting louder and louder, and I sigh, wondering what the hell my brother's doing this late at night. I sit there because it's impossible to focus with that racket. I mean, it sounds like someone is power walking all over the main floor. I sit there and listen as the thumps get faster and wilder. They just keep moving, almost starting to form a rhythm. They move even faster and even wilder, and they're thumping all over my main floor. I realize that whatever this is, it can't be human. No human can move like that. "What the fuck?" I finally yell. After that, all the noises stop. Everything is quiet for a moment, and then I hear calm, slow footsteps moving to my basement door. The door is pushed open, and the footsteps stop again. I listen to my breathing for the next 30 minutes, then sigh, thinking it's over. Turns out something else was listening too. Suddenly, I hear it thudding down the stairs, and I knock my chair over in a haste to stand up. I start to run towards the nearest closet, just in time to see a grotesque, hairless, four-legged creature dancing towards me, tapping its swollen feet in an intoxicating rhythm. I dive into the closet and slam the door shut. There's a half-second pause, then I hear the same rhythm on the door. It just keeps going and going with no pause, no rest, no relief. He has been at it for hours, and I find myself tapping my fingers along with his song. But then, just as suddenly as it began, it ends. I wait for a few moments, then look out. He is gone. I flip on a light and fall into a chair. It's safe. I relax, then I think for a few moments. But then I notice my foot tapping. Maybe this song isn't so bad. I almost like it enough to dance it. So I drop down to my hands and feet, and I start.
So, I have a lot of trouble sleeping, and I found that my favorite thing to do when I can't sleep is just post to Reddit casual conversation, and just have a title like, "I can't sleep," because then people will talk to you, and as the subreddit's name implies, you can just have a casual conversation with a complete stranger. Now, I wish I had a screenshot of the conversation I had last night, but I don't. And I wish that I could tell you to go look at it, but I can't. After the conversation that I'm about to tell you about ended, it was like nothing ever happened. Everything was gone. The thread was gone. When I went to my profile and looked at where it shows the comments and posts I've made, there was no evidence of me ever being on the subreddit casual conversation last night. I tried looking for the user that had the conversation with me, but I can't find the account. It's like it never existed. The weird thing is that I'm known for not having good memory, but I can remember everything about the conversation. I can remember the times. I can remember word for word what I and this person said to each other. I won't give you all of the times for each comment we made to each other on the thread, because the only two times that matter are the time it started and the time it ended. And for those who can't already tell, I'm Furious Vox, and the Redditor's name was Baby Yaga 777. 1:38 a.m. Original post. It's late and I can't sleep. Who wants to chat?
I'm in the same boat as you.
Yeah, I guess this happens to a lot of people.
So, what do you think about doing to pass the time?
Probably listen to some music. I don't know.
I'm kind of in a mood to have a deep conversation with someone right now. LOL.
Like, about what?
Well, religion makes people think deeply. Are you religious?
No. Not really.
Why not?
I don't know. I've just really never bought into the heaven and hell thing.
You don't believe in hell?
No.
Why not?
I just told you. I've just never really bought into it. Do you believe in all that stuff?
Why not?
The fuck you mean, why not? I've told you twice, why? Does there have to be a specific reason? I don't believe in angels or demons. So what?
You will.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
Do you know where you are right now?
My home?
Are you alone?
Yes. What the fuck are you trying to do?
You'd better think again. It's not what I'm trying to do. It's what I will do, Charlie.
What the fuck? Okay, I'm not responding anymore. I'm reporting you. I'm gonna delete this thread or do whatever I can to get rid of this. Don't fucking try to respond to me. At this point, I tried to do anything to go away from the thread, but I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even X out of the window. All I could do was refresh. I even tried turning off my computer, and it wouldn't turn off.
You are not alone.
Leave me alone!
You will know me.
Fucking stop it!
Why don't you look out the window?
Fuck you! I was sitting in my room on my laptop, right next to the bedroom window. I heard 3 sharp taps on the glass. Like somebody tapping on it with a fingernail or a key. I slowly turned my head and looked at the glass. And I just froze. There was a man standing at the window. His face was all twisted, like the guy's head was upside down. He had short arms and long legs, and he was smiling. It wasn't really a wide smile. It was just like a little grin. For a moment, both of us were completely still, just staring at each other. I blinked, and he was gone. The blinds were shut, and the curtain was closed. I thought maybe I had just been seeing things. But when I looked back at my laptop, there had been 2 more comments made by whoever was doing this.
You will believe in hell. Tap, tap, tap.
It was 3 a.m. I had no idea how long I'd stared at the person I saw in the window, but I know our conversation on the Reddit casual conversation wasn't 2 hours long. Just as the clock turned to 3:01, my laptop shut down, and the power in my house went out. So I did the most sensible thing I could think of, and I jumped up and grabbed my phone. I used a flashlight on my phone to get to the kitchen. I grabbed my keys, and I drove the fuck away from that house. I went to a friend's apartment. He's gonna let me crash here for the next few days. I contacted the police, but they said there was nothing they could do. What the fuck? Oh, fuck. I just heard 3 taps on the window in my friend's apartment. I'm here alone. Help me. There's no one at the window. I'm afraid the 3rd night, tomorrow night, is when he's going to make me believe. Please, help me. I don't know what to do.